Good morning, fellow train chasers and train lovers. I'm on hollowed ground. I'm approaching the infamous Promontory Summit, the meeting of the two railroads, the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific. There it all is, laid out in front of us. Over on the left is the engine house. I'm hoping I've made it in time to get us a shot of the locomotives coming out. This is the 149th celebration of the driving of the Golden Spike. Hey everybody, Mark here from M&M Chasing Trains. It's May 10th, 2018, 149 years ago today, the Transcontinental Railroad met here at this hollowed grounds. 149 years ago, the driving of the Golden Spike right here. We're going to stand back and watch all the celebrations. I hope you enjoy the show, and I want to thank you so much for watching because, hey, chasing trains is what it's all about.
The Jupiter was not the intended locomotive to be used in the celebration of the driving of the last spike. The intended locomotive, the Antelope, while en route, hit a tree that a logging camp dropped on the rails. The Jupiter was leading the train in front of the Antelope. With the Antelope cosmetically damaged, a message was sent to the upcoming station to hold the Jupiter. There, President Stanford's consist was added to the Jupiter's train. Number 119, stationed in Ogden, Utah, was called on to rescue Thomas Durant while en route to Promontory. Durant's train came upon a swollen river in Weber Canyon. Not daring to take the locomotive across the bridge, it was decided to push Durant's cars over the bridge. Number 119 arrived from Ogden, coupled to the train, delivering Durant to Promontory. Similar to Leland Stanford and the Jupiter, previous misfortunes allowed number 119 to take her place in history.
Central Pacific. Jupiter. I'm hoping to get up closer and get these guys too.
With the joining of the rails, the Jupiter and 119 met, pilot to pilot. Once the reenactment began, dignitaries gathered. There were 4 ceremonial spikes given that day, 2 gold-plated spikes given by the state of California to Leland Stanford, president of the Central Pacific, 1 silver spike given to both railroads by the state of Nevada, and a gold and silver spike given by the territory of Arizona to the Union Pacific Railroad.
I bid you welcome. We are met today to commemorate the completion of a project which is a remarkable example of the vision, the determination and labor of thousands of men in a union which this day shall be consummated forever. We are assembled here to link the ends of the earth, to join the raw riches of the American West with the finished products of the industrial East. But these are not ordinary spikes. Ladies and gentlemen, these are golden spikes, made from pure California gold.
Gentlemen of the Pacific Railroad, and those of you who have met with us, the last spike needed to unite the Atlantic and the Pacific by a new line of trade and commerce is about to be driven to its place. To perform this act, the East and the West have come together.
Thank you, Dr. Harkness. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. F.A. Triton, the United States Railroad Commissioner and candidate for governor of the great state of Nevada. He will present a spike of pure silver from the famed Comstock Road on behalf of the people of Nevada. Mr. Triton.
With the iron of the East and the gold of the West, Nevada links her silver to span the continent and wed the oceans.
We are highly honored today with the presence of the Honorable Anson P.K. Safford, who is en route to Arizona as the newly appointed territorial governor. He was kind enough to delay his journey to his new headquarters in order to make a presentation on behalf of the Arizona Territory. Governor Safford.
Ribbed with iron, clad in silver and crowned with gold, Arizona presents her offering to the enterprise that banded the continent and directed the pathway to commerce.
Governor Safford. And now, friends, it is not only my duty, but my honor and privilege to introduce a man of vision, a man of courage, a humanitarian, and one who is highly esteemed by those of us who call him our friend. He is a Californian whose farsightedness has contributed in large measure to the success of this great enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Central Pacific Railroad, Governor Leland Stanford.
Thank you, gentlemen. The Pacific Railroad companies accept with pride and satisfaction these golden and silver tokens of your appreciation of the importance of our enterprise to the material interests of the sections which you represent on this occasion. Indeed, the material interest of the whole nation, east and west, north and south. These gifts These gifts shall receive a fitting place in the superstructure of our road.
Thank you, Governor Stanford, for your astute and timely remarks. We regret that Dr. Durant is suffering from a severe headache and cannot speak with us. But in his absence, and in the absence of the President of the Union Pacific Railroad, Mr. Walter Lane, we have asked General Grenville Dodge, Chief Engineer of the Union Pacific Railroad, to address us on behalf of his railroad. General Dodge.
Mr. Miller. Gentlemen, Senator from Missouri Thomas Hart Benton proposed someday a giant statue of Columbus be erected on the highest peak of the Rocky Mountains pointing westward, denoting this as the great route across our continent. This is the way to India.
Thank you, Governor Dodge. Ladies and gentlemen, that moment for which you, the entire nation, have been waiting, the driving of the last spike is at hand. At this point, we wish to commend both railroad companies and their workers for their efficiency and hard work in bringing this monumental undertaking to its successful fruition in a record 6.5 years instead of the 12 years allotted to the venture. At this point, we should explain that the last spike is a regular iron railroad spike that can be driven with the balls. Both the spike and the ball have been wired to the transcontinental telegraph line so that people everywhere can hear the blows as the spike is driven. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived. Boston and New Orleans have wired that they are ready and waiting. Indeed, throughout the length and breadth of the country, people everywhere are waiting at every Western Union office. When Mr. Schilling gives a signal that the last spike is driven, a magnetic ball will fall from the dome of the National Capitol. In San Francisco, the fire alarm bell will ring. A volley of 200 rounds will be fired in salute at Fort Point. And in Philadelphia, the Liberty Bell will ring again. Are you ready?
We're ready, sir.
Promontory to the country. Bulletin already now, 12:40 p.m. Dr. Durant has adjusted the spike. The spike will soon be driven. The signal will be 3 dots at the commencement of flow.
Be careful, it moves.
You're doing it better, Doctor. I'm not sure I can do much better, but we'll give it. We got somebody. Right here. Oh, good. Finish it up.
Promontory to the country. Bulletin. D-O-N-E. Done.
Ladies and gentlemen, henceforth, there is but one Pacific Railroad and the United States of America.
Promontory, President Ulysses S. Grant, Washington, D.C. and the Associated Press, East and West. Final bulletin, Promontory Summit, Utah, May 10, 1869. 12:50 p.m. Mr. President, The last rail is laid, the last spike is driven. The railroad is completed to a junction 1,086 miles west of the Missouri River, 690 miles east of Sacramento City, California. Signed, Leland Stanford, President, Central Pacific Railroad. T.C. Durant, Sidney Dillon, John Duff, Union Pacific Railroad.
3 cheers for the Union Pacific Railroad. Hip, 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 hip,
Well done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's give 3 cheers for the Central Pacific.
hip, hip,
Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
With the ceremony complete, the 119 and Jupiter crossed the rail joint separating the 2 railroads, now becoming America's first transcontinental railroad.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to need to have you stand back a little bit. Make way for the photographer, please. We need to have every dangerous chemicals there. Cap off.
All right, so after a great day of celebration for the 149th driving of the Golden Spike, we're going to go on the East Auto Tour route. I have no idea what this is about, as far as I should be able to get through this on my motorcycle. Well, let's go down the old grade of the Transcontinental Railroad. So for today's adventure out here on the Transcontinental route up here at Promontory Summit, I brought my BMW. Oh, I should say it brought me. We're en route out here at Promontory Summit. This the Great National Park Service has gone and built this auto tour route that you could actually drive your vehicle, and this road's good enough you could bring a sedan down through here and follow the original old Transcontinental Railroad. Let your imagination go for a minute, thinking about in an old parlor car being pulled by one of those beautiful little 440 American class steam locomotives. And they probably do about this speed at the most, I'd say. I'm doing 20 miles an hour. I don't think they'd be highballing too hard through here. Look at this cool cut. And right down there, if you take a look, you can see the remains of what I do believe is the UP's main coming in. I'm not quite sure about that. I'll clarify that. There's Chinaman's Arch right there. That's what that is, I can guarantee you. Look at that. Yes, sir, that's Chinaman's Arch. Chinese Arch. So that Chinese Arch right there lets me know that we are on the Central Pacific grade, because the Central Pacific utilized Chinese labor to where the Union Pacific utilized more Irish and other Caucasian. Okay, so we're dropping down here. It's a pretty good low grade right here. I'd say this is their max 2% hill.
The Golden Spike National Monument is something all rail enthusiasts, as well as families, should experience. Coming up in 2019 will be the 150th anniversary of the driving of the last spike. I'm not going to miss it. How about you? Hey, thanks for watching M&M Chasing Trains, and if you click on that little picture up above, you'll be able to watch our future rail journeys.